Okay, recording.
This is Hookup. This is one of my favorite games. Hookup is a game where your goal is to hook up a man with a woman who have similar chemistry to make a couple and set them up in a cozy bedroom to match. It's made to be a two-player game where you compete to be the best at making hookups by being the first person to successfully create 4 hookups. Setup of the game is this. Player 1 starts off with 3 stacks of cash, player 2 with 4 stacks. You each take a player token and start on the center space. At work. 4. There. Shuffle each of the 3 decks of cards. All the women gathered next to the club, all the men next to the sports bar, and then split the couple cards to take place at either his or her place. Choose which action list you want to play with, what sorts of rewards you want to receive for the success of each hookup, and keep it close to the board. Now you can fill this in however you choose with different rewards that both of you could enjoy. Playing is easy and will feel more natural as you play. You may only move 1 space per turn and then perform the action according to the space. You may choose not to move, such as staying at work to make an extra buck. You can also move diagonally. In order to collect these people, you need to know where to go and what you need to get them. You will need money to go out and meet these people, so you will have to go to work often. You will be able to speed date for a small bit of money and just be set up with either a man or woman of your choosing and see where it goes. It is just whoever's at the top of the deck. Put it in your hand and see how the next few rounds play out. For better chances at picking your potential mates, you can either go to the sports bar or the club. It costs a little bit more money. Three monies. But you get more potential scores this way. For 3 stacks of cash, you get to draw 3 cards and 2 to hang on to. The very bottom of the deck, once discarded. And these are also in your hand. Now that you have some prospective hookups, you need to make it back to either his or her place to see if you will score. Going to the fortune teller can be a good option to look into the future of these couple cards. If you check out the fortune teller, you can look at the top 2 cards of either his place or her place. You must return them back to their respective places though, this deck versus this deck. You can return them in any order. You can place them at the bottom of the deck, or you can expose some of the duds that you find. Or you can just leave the dud in there for your opponent to find. Or make it so that your preferred card is on top for when it's your turn again. Or if your opponent is close enough to possibly steal that from you, or if you know that it's their personality, you can keep the dud on top so that they draw the dud. Going to his or her place directly is a bit risky, as you get only 1 card. You could get a dud, meaning your turn is wasted and nothing comes of your turn. You must discard it. You could also get a card that does not match either of your other cards entirely. Place it in your hand, as there's no reason to return it prematurely. You could also get a match to one or both of your men and women cards. To create a successful hookup, you will need chemistry among your men and women, as well as where you get it on. You can create a hookup anytime, so if you successfully draw the card that completes the hookup, you score. You will need to match either the color or shape across all 3 cards. The man, the woman, and the couple card. Your winnings for this hookup will correlate from the couple card to the action list. You'll be making your rounds, as you will need 4 successful hookups to win the game. There are a few other spaces I have not yet discussed. There's the Shady Move, and there's Ditch a Loser. Shady Move allows you to spend a little of your money to steal one of the men or women belonging to your opponent. Ditch a Loser allows you to return one of your own men or women back to the bottom of their respective decks to get back some money. If you know your opponent is doing well and has 2 matching cards, you can throw a wrench in their evening plans. Or if you're finding that you have too many people in your hands, or if you're short on money, you can basically get some of that cash back from having invested in them in the first place. Not everyone you meet is going to help you score, and that's okay. There are a few other types of men and women cards, as I have not discussed. There are the wild cards, identified with a W, who are a lot more free in their love. They can help turn an unlikely mite into a wild threesome. There are skip cards, identified with the S, that you can use their networking to help skip the opponent's turn. They will, however, not be willing to hook up with you, so you will have to return them to the bottom of the deck. Then there are the cards identified with the $3 mark. Those are some rich people who you found, and you can hook up with them like the rest, or you can use them in exchange for some money to help in your hookup quest. And those are the basic rules. You will need to get the action according to your hookups, and then at each turn, as you score your hookups, your hookup location, your couple card, will determine what action you and your partner engage in, whatever fun thing that you came up with beforehand. As each of you play your hookups, you'll be able to do different things throughout the game. And the person to play their 4th hookup wins the game.